you, madam. Because when we say bhakti and practice of bhakti, we tend to, I would say, bypass everything and try to start to do bhakti. We may tend to ignore what our body is saying, what our mind is saying, and what messages are coming around from the family members. We may tend to ignore these aspects. And we may think that it is progress in bhakti and enthusiasm in bhakti, just ignoring all these messages that are coming around and pushing us, pushing forward like that. So it is very much possible that we may think like that in the beginning. But bhakti can be practiced harmoniously when we acknowledge all these messages also from outside in. That way, we can practice harmoniously and be in harmony with the people around and with whatever is happening to us in our life. So in that way, bhakti can be steady. Yeah, that's why this is very important topic. Though this is considered as a pre-japa, but this is such an essential topic. Unless we clear this part of pre-japa, we will not be able to do japa properly. Yeah, so that's why it's very important. Josna Mataji, Praveen Prabhu, somebody just joined. Yeah, Hare Krishna, welcome to you. Yeah, those two questions I think would open up a lot of discussion. And we want this to be an open discussion. You may not necessarily give the specifics, but we want to touch each corner of the troubling aspect, confusing aspect in our life. You know, what to do when things happen in life like that. So we want to touch base those things in light of Shastra, understand what Shastra is saying, and understand how we may be able to practically implement it so we can practice bhakti in harmony. Yeah, that will be the topic today. So for generally, all the happy things that happen in life, and that also can be obstacles for bhakti. We tend to forget Krishna because everything is comfortable and there is nothing bothering. So that we can reserve that topic for sometime later. How happiness is also a hurdle for us. It can take us away from Krishna consciousness. But now our focus will be what to do with the challenges that we face. So big time challenges, acute emergencies. Then there's not a lot to think. We just act. There's an accident, there's a loss of life or anything emergencies. We just act practically, whatever is there. We just do our best. We cry. We call out for Krishna. We try to recover and then come back to bhakti. Those are acute things. Even though we practice bhakti, they can be very intense, and we don't want to deny that. We don't want to suppress any of the feelings that come out of that intensity that can happen in bhakti to the body, to our people related to this body, and related to our feelings, our friends, like that. So anything acute happening like that, then yeah, we just do what we need to do. We cry and then we come back and we move on. But for the chronic things, the day-to-day things, what can be bothering to us on a day-to-day basis? Those things would come and interfere our japa. Those are the things we want to tackle, handle, sort out. So what would be those thoughts about? About the people, right? That might be troubling us somehow or other. About the situations in life that can be causing some inconvenience or pain to us. Or about our own self, our own body giving us pain, our own mind troubling us, right? Adhyatmika, Adidaivika, Adibhautika. These are the hindrances that we have on a day-to-day basis. And those are the hindrances, and those are the botherings that we carry in our mind throughout the day. So those are the botherings that stop us from focusing the japa during the japa time. So what do we do about those? So as we just sorted out in those two questions we put forward, right? What to do if we have a chronic medical problem, a chronic condition that is causing us pain or compromising our lifestyle, right? We are actually supposed to write our own feelings and words in the journal. So if you haven't done that, you could at least please think, answer it yourself, jot it down. I'm going to give 2 minutes, please, because this is not like a class thing. For the whole session to be impactful, we have to be thoughtful first. We have to be aware of what we are feeling, what we want to do, what our response is, and then we will talk. So we'll give you 2 minutes. Please write down if you haven't done that before. A chronic physical problem, either giving you the pain or compromising the lifestyle, limiting you. 2 questions to be answered. What are your feelings about it? If we divide the feelings into happy, sad, anxiety, peaceful, these are the 4 quadrants. So please put in one of these categories: happy, sad, peaceful, anxious. So what are your feelings? Okay. You can be a little detailed about how you feel. Yeah, sad, of course. Sad for what? Why does it make sad? If anxious, why does it make anxious? So in 1 minute, please write whatever you want to write. How would you feel?
Mataji, is it the moment we know that news or something, or is it like after realization of after a few days?
Question. Well, ongoing, let it be ongoing thing.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay,
ongoing. Yeah, you already know, but it's bothering you every day. That's a good question. If you want to write the moment you know about it, is also a very good question. Yeah. This is for a physical pain. And yeah, the second part of the question is to your clarification, Prabhu. Something big happening, like I am diagnosed with cancer. How would I feel when I know that I'm diagnosed with cancer? How would I feel? And after that, it would become a chronic problem anyway. So that's the second part of the question. So you may write both, please. How would you know immediately when you feel? And how would you feel on a day-to-day basis? And please keep this with you. Whatever you are writing now, please keep it with you, because this is all linked up with the japa. And the japa is linked up with our day-to-day feelings. And that is our life. So this is going to be a friend. Please keep this with you. And that's why I'm calling this as Japa journal. second part of the question. I don't think we want to rush on this because this is an important topic and we will take time today and Thursday also. And depending upon how it goes, we'll see what happens on Friday. So that's first one. And second question. Yeah. How would you feel if you are having a troubled relationship, a friction between, friction in the relationship? It could be your own spouse, wife or husband, or children. Children for any reason. Growing children, teenagers, or if any of the family members have physical challenges or psychological challenges or anything like that. How would you feel? This is more now interpersonal, not about the physical body, but interpersonal thing. How would you feel about that friction or uneasiness or pain that is caused in your close relationships? What are your feelings? Please write down all the feelings. After that, please write down how would you want to handle it. That's the second part of the question. How would you want to handle that? Friction in the relationship or trouble in the relationship. And I'm sorry for the first part also. Please add on how you are going to deal with it practically, the physical challenge, chronic illness or cancer. Please write the second part also as you're doing for the second question. Yeah, you had enough time? Whoever is ready, you can share for the first question your reflections, answers of how would you feel when you come to know that you have a problem, physical problem, diagnosed. We'll take that part first. Anybody? What would be the immediate response? And then what would you try to do? And how would you plan to settle down? Yeah.
Shall I go, Didi?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Obviously, I feel sad when I come to know it because definitely, theoretically, I understand that the ultimate goal of the human life is that to attain Krishna Prema, but I have not done sufficient. I have not put sufficient efforts to do that. I just wasted. That would be my thought process. I'm just thinking. I'm placing myself in that situation and I'm talking this.
So you're saying you feel like you would feel sad that you have wasted your life, that you haven't done much with the body to reach the ultimate goal, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
sad about wasting time. So guilt, sad and guilt.
Yes. But so it will continue, right? Once we come to know our chronic, whatever disease or pain or anything. And usually disease, as disease is a part of our life, and sometimes there is no solutions like chronic diseases like cancer and anything, and the treatment is very painful. I prefer not to look for the solution. Whatever the days or the moments are left, at least then maybe probably I may still, though I'm trying to put myself in the situation, but still I'm not able to put myself into the situation.
Okay, to help you sort out the answer, two things. What would you physically do about the illness that was diagnosed, and how would you mentally take it?
Mentally, I totally understand that I can do nothing, right? Physically, maybe whatever, if it is not painful, the treatment, maybe I would go for some pills or medicine, something like that. If it is not available, I would not think much about it, because I understand that I'm helpless. I cannot do anything.
So these are the two aspects. Yes, wonderful. Thank you. So these are the two aspects of our thought. Next time, anytime when we face a challenge physically, even though we are devotees, please note, just because I'm starting to practice bhakti, when I'm diagnosed with something with my body, any disease like that, just because I'm practicing bhakti doesn't mean that, I would have a magic wand and all my problems will be solved. SNA. So that part we should be clear. Then how is bhakti helpful?
It makes us understand the reality.
Bhakti is helpful in giving us the knowledge. In giving us the knowledge to understand what the reality is. That the
also,
life
it gives the tolerance too.
Tolerance.
Also,
awesome.
yes.
And
What
especially
else?
acceptance of the situation.
Very good. Knowledge. Knowledge of what? What kind of knowledge is bhakti giving?
It's about everything. Material, how is the material life going to be, is there, and how we can utilize it to reach the goal.
What can go wrong with this material life, with this body that they are always prone to, right? Yeah. So that knowledge, reality of what this body is, what this life is going to be, ups and downs are going to be there, physical afflictions are going to be there, mental afflictions are going to be there, dukkhalayam asashvatam. That knowledge is fully given.
Yes.
They will not be surprised. Hey, kya ho raha hai?
Yes.
My pain, my body, pain, mind, pain. This is dukkhalayam asashvatam. Knowledge is given like that. Yeah. So the knowledge is given and tolerance. And that's what, Hema Mataji, that's what you said?
Yes, and
right?
as doing a bhakti, we now more aware of that. I need to take care of my soul. If things comes to me, it's a bodily thing, but I have to make sure strengthen my soul. Is that correct?
Yeah, purpose of life. Awesome, awesome. Bhakti is showing us the bigger purpose of life. For those who do not practice bhakti, they may not look at this as a bigger purpose, that okay, these things will happen with the body, with the mind, but the goal is to head back to Godhead. The goal is spiritual. That concept will not be there for those who don't practice bhakti. So this is the advantage of practicing bhakti. Gives us a bigger picture of the purpose of life. So knowledge, tolerance, and purpose of life. Yeah. So bhakti is helping us walk through the life. It is not really making us bypass anything, not bypassing the pain, not bypassing the journey, but it is giving us the strength, the vision, the knowledge to walk through the life. And if you have just heard these two devotees talk, is there a harmony? Is there a harmony in their thought when they were talking about? Like accepting, okay, this is how it is going to be. I will do what is needed for this practically, but I am not struggling inside. I am not unhappy, resentful, and blaming, complaining like that. If all those things are inside, then it means we are not in harmony, if we are not accepting. If we are accepting that this is life and this is how it is going to be in this world for anybody, whoever has a physical body, whoever has a physical mind, they go through this. This is the place of suffering of the body and mind. So nothing to be surprised about this. I will do my best on a practical level of whatever treatment I need to take. But inside, acceptance without resentment. The sooner, okay, this question. We have to go through our physical pain anyway, and we will try to get our physical treatments anyway. Wo to chalega. That will go on, right? I want to really bring the spotlight on this particular issue. Then what about internally? Physically, we'll do whatever is needed. How about what we feel inside? Is it in our hands or not, how we feel inside? Yes or no?
We pray to
Please.
give us strength, Mataji.
Pray to give
Give
the
us
strength.
strength to bear the pain and not to forget Krishna in that pain. And if at all it's like the soul is leaving the body, if that situation comes, don't put on the gun, just take away.
Right. So, but on a day-to-day basis, when we are walking through with that pain or with that cancer in the body, day-to-day life, what you feel inside? I mean, I'm accepting the situation.
Yes, accepting the situation, like give the
So
strength
is
to
accepting the situation, not being angry, not being resentful, is it in our hands or not?
It is.
Yes, it is.
Do you all agree, is it in our hands?
Yes.
I mean, if you talk in general, nothing is in our hands.
So it is in our hands. Yeah, that part is
Yes.
clear, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
clear, all of us? Can we say
Yes.
that to ourselves?
Because
Because,
many times it is not in our hand.
I'm sorry?
Many a times it is not in our hand.
See, that aspect is also there.
I mean, talking about is one thing, through is another thing.
Right?
Knowing about is one thing, and every day dealing with it is one thing. I mean, even if you know it, you sleep with it, and then it comes. A wave can come, and then it sweeps you away. So I don't agree 100% that feeling.
That is totally in our hands. Yeah. Anybody else you want to share your thoughts too? Please think. Please put yourself in that shoe.
Mataji, these questions that you put out there is a bit hypothetical in itself. And at the end, what I wrote in this thing is that this is very, because I'm not living with it. This is maybe very theoretical in itself, my responses, and how I really behave or tolerate, or really would I really accept once I really hit that stage or have that situation, would I really give the same responses that I've written down?
Okay. Yeah. So that is a very natural situation, in the sense, if you don't go through it, then you don't necessarily know if you are answering it appropriately, addressing the intensity. Yeah, well taken, Prabhu. So this question can hold good for those who are actually going through some physical condition. So for those who are not going through, they may not relate to it so much. And even if somebody is not going through, some are naturally more towards acceptance. So it can vary from person to person, and some are in a gray zone. They want to accept, but it is difficult. So it is very much personalized one. So this is just to address what are the possibilities that can happen. So whether this acceptance and not having the resentment is not like a black and white thing. It depends on day to day and depends upon how bad is the situation with the body, like that. So it's more of a day-to-day gray zone thing. Okay. Then what option do we have? See, the physical body is there, the problem is there, and we are trying to do our best with whatever treatment we can take. Do we have an option? I mean, how would you choose to think? Because we have to go on with this life. So what would you tell yourself? What would you tell yourself? Since we have to go on with our life, yes, the physical situation is going to be there.
Mataji, what I wrote was, if I'm in the situation, first is I would look for solutions and treatments. That is more on the external side.
Yeah.
Then it's about the mind side that I wrote was, being strong and trying to have the willpower to fight it as well. Learn to make peace with the situation. And then, or indirectly accepting the situation. And then prayers, of course, if it's a dire thing, there'll be prayers, and prayer to build the strength to tolerate where, what the situation is. And then try to stay positive. Also, if you're in that situation, the other thing, learning to be dependent on others, because maybe you are not, you were able to do something yourself. Now you're being dependent on somebody. So that itself, and dependent on others and on Krishna as well. And then, in general, I wrote frustration and depression may be there on some days, but overall trying to be positive, staying positive.
I'm laughing, why, Prabhu? For those who are really going through the physical pain, I'm glad you mentioned all those. They are helpful, definitely. It just says that it is you. That is Nitai Gunamani Prabhu. That's how he would handle. Trying to be positive, having the willpower. Aap aise hai. So which is good, very good. But to bring the points out of what you said is, yes, though, first of all, is there a desire to have the acceptance? That's number one. Number two comes the point, if I have the desire, but inability to accept, mentally fighting with resentment, that's the second point. So the very first thing is, do I want to come in peace with this? Do I want to be in harmony with this? Do I accept it? Do I want to accept it or not? Is the first thing. So if I have the desire to be in peace with this, second thing is, I have the desire, but I don't have the strength. I wish I can be. So that's the second step. And in order to get the help for the second step, then comes the prayers or taking support from the people. Yeah. So this is what we want to look at it. Do I really want to be in peace with this? Then we can come to the second point. Yeah, I want to be in peace with this, but I am unable to. Is the next thing. Then what to do if we are unable to? Is devotees, is prayers. And at a practical level, because we are unable to come in peace with this, taking support, whatever support we can, so we can come to peace. One thing, one single most point I want to bring to your attention is, do we have the desire to come in peace with it? That will decide everything, sooner or later. That's one thing. Second thing is, if we don't have the desire to come in peace with what is happening, what is my option? So I have two choices here. One is, yes, I want to come in harmony with this, accept it, but I don't have the strength. So I will do whatever I need to do to gain the strength. That's one option I have. The second option is, I don't want to come in, I don't want to accept this. I don't think this should be happening to me. So when we are blocking ourselves at the very first step, then the second step of, we cannot easily go to the second step and the third step. Does it make sense to you? Please,
Yes,
whatever. Yeah.
yes, Didi, because without acceptance, there is no other option.
Yeah. There is an option. The other option is not accepting.
But
See, this,
by not accepting, you'll not have a peace at all.
yeah, that is the point. Yes. But unless we understand, yes, these are the two options. If I accept it, I can be in peace and I can do my best and go on with whatever I can. Is at least bahar to, the body has to go through whatever it has going through. But at least inside also, we will be settled if we are accepting. That's one choice. The other choice is not accept and live with that not accepting and resentment every day for a very long period of time. Then how is the life going to be? Right?
More painful.
So that's with the physical body. So in this case, acceptance may not be easy in all situations, but what does it result to? What does it result to? Who are being affected if we are not accepting? So that's something, some thought that we can put in. Because if we are not clearing that part, even if we are doing bhakti, that aspect of thinking, of not accepting it, resentment, is still with us. Even if we are doing bhakti. 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, continue to do the bhakti, but that resentment, I cannot accept this. That block is still going to be with us. And that same block is going to come in japa. And that same block is going to sit with us the whole day after day. The same block will trouble us, limit us.
Mataji, it's not, I mean, you may be accepting it, but if your pains are so much that it inhibits your activity, or, you're trying to do japa or anything like that, then I'm not sure how much accepting really helps you with that, because you're not able to do some of your activities or things that you thought you wanted to do, or you thought you should be doing.
Right. Yeah, that is not much in our hands now, Prabhu. Even if I'm accepting the situation, if it is just falling on me like that I cannot do anything, it is not in my hands then, because I've done everything outside, whatever I need to do, and I'm also accepting. So when it is just falling like that in my lap, what can I do about it? Just rest, or just take pause, whatever, for however long I can, and then get back. What other option do I have, Prabhu?
Isn't it called cause helplessness, Mataji?
Helplessness, Mataji. Yeah, helplessness, because we want to do it, but we are unable to do it. Yes, yes. So that's not resentment, that's helplessness, right? Acceptance is already there. I've accepted what is going on with me. I'm not complaining or resenting, but I'm unable to do what I'm doing, what I want to do. That's helplessness. Yeah.
Helplessness can result into resentment again.
Yeah, that's the thing. So how do we want to take that helplessness? See, for example, yeah, I have chronic problem and I have so much of pain that I cannot sit and chant japa, and I cannot come to the temple. If that's my case, then my choice is like, yes, I know. For the pain thing, I have done everything that I need to. Yeah, the practical aspect is taken care of. Now internally, I have a choice to feel so bad that I'm unable to get up and then chant japa or go out. So that sadness part, I can let it take over me, or I can say, I know this is my situation. If I can't sit and chant, then I'll just lie down and chant. Maybe it will be like this today, and maybe it'll be better tomorrow, or at least I'm able to chant. And if only I can just chant like this. So I think that's where the seeing whatever can uplift us at that point of time, patting ourselves, whatever can uplift us, because we have tried everything practically.
What I would say, Mataji, that because you see that, taking, not accepting it, or you like being frustrated with it, or unhappy with it, at the end worsen the things. So at the end, you try to accept it. But that acceptance is usually not wholehearted. And, and it leaves you in abandoned feeling also in the material world and as a spirit soul too. So, I mean, at the end, after clearing all these cluttering, we are trying to come to an equilibrium state.
Right.
So that we can do our bhakti, our bhajan nicely. But sometimes that peaceful state, dealing with it is one thing, but coming to that peaceful equilibrium stage where we can do our bhajan becomes sometimes hard.
Yeah, very well said. So this is all a process, adjusting to this, trying to be in peace. And this is all a process, and it can vary from day to day. Every day it can vary, from day to day basis. But this is a process, as you very nicely said and practically said, it's a process. But as long as we are doing our part of not being bitter or resentful, just trying our best, that part, as long as that is going on, we are doing our best. And because it is a process, it's not like, okay, I turned on the light now, a switch ho gaya, yeah, acceptance ho gaya, aise nahi hoga. It's a process slowly. Sometimes the waves of resentment, they come. Sometimes anger may come, and then it settles down. So it's a kind of journey.
Yeah.
And most part of it, as you very nicely said, it comes over a period of time. As a tadpake, then we'll be like, kya fayda hai? Right? And this gives a, there is an example how a caterpillar struggles so much in the cocoon. And that metamorphosis, the changes that happens to a caterpillar during the cocoon are not the most pleasant changes. The changes are happening. But all the changes that were happening is to help the wings build the strength, to help the little muscles grow, and for the body to get ready to take off when it comes from the cocoon. That's why the flapping in the cocoon and the lashes, whatever it has to take to build the muscles, everything happens inside the cocoon. For what? So when the cocoon breaks open, it will be a butterfly perfectly flying high. If all that was not happening in the cocoon, then there will not be strength in the muscles and the wings will not be broad enough to fly like that. So acceptance is also something like that. Challenges in the life are also something like that. And this is how a devotee would like to see the challenges that are put forward in our life. For us to undergo through that metamorphosis of dirty caterpillar, going through the change for good, building the strength, immunity, all that it needs, so it can beautifully fly. Both physically and mentally, these are how the challenges are placed in devotees' lives actually. And this is how the devotees are encouraged to look at the challenges as Krishna's arrangement for our own good. Tatenukampam susamikshamanu bhunjana evatma swayam kritapam tatvag bhapuber vidadhan namaste chivetayo muktipadis tayabak. That is the guidance from the Shastra. Right now, what all we have discussed is on a practical platform, an introspective platform of what I would do. Now that we have exercised all our mental, intellectual things and sorted out everything practically, we want to see if this is what Shastra is saying. Yeah? And when Shastra is also saying the same thing, match, good, bingo. Then that's the way to go. Tatenukampam susamikshamana. Shastra is saying, yes, the difficulties will come. Tatenukampam, you still be compassionate. Susamikshamano. Bhunjana evatma swayam kritapam. Understand that whatever is coming to you now is because of your own fruit of whatever has happened in the past. Yeah, that part is given, so we don't blame anybody. So this is what is called as owning the problem. We are not blaming anybody around. That's the first thing. Owning the problem. Then, tatenukampam, continue to be compassionate. Then, continue tatvag vapuber vidadhan namaste. Submissively, I will continue to serve you with my vapu, with my words and my deeds. If I am thinking like that, then jivetayo mukti phade dayapak, then they will be qualified to get mukti, which is a byproduct of bhakti. That's the guidance of the Shastra. But as we just discussed, it is the metamorphosis. That's the example of the cocoon. When the challenges come in our life, if we take them as Krishna's arrangement, as an opportunity for us to grow through it, then not only we grow through it, but we get closer to Krishna also, because each time this is happening, we are walking with Krishna. And that's how the stage of Nishtha comes. As we walk through the problems with the body and mind, and as we accept them, sooner than later, it means we are heading through Nishtha. Once we get to that stage of Nishtha, the problems of the body or mind, even though they are there, even though I have cancer, And even though sometimes the pain may debilitate me and I'm not able to do anything, but still in here, in the mind, not too disturbed, not too disturbed, not too agitated, like that. So that is the stage of Nishtha. So if we are able to look at these physical problems, and I think we are covering the other part also now, challenges with the people around in the relationships, like that, as those arrangements that are placed in front of us for us to grow through it, to get to a better place, to Nishtha. Then all these, whatever that happens to our life, in our life, then all of them are well utilized in the process of bhakti. So that's the difference between somebody who is practicing devotion and who is not practicing devotion. At the best, who is not practicing devotion can come with peace, can come to peace with what's happening with their body and also with the mind too. Even though they're not devotees, they can think through. They can think, okay, if I am depressed, but how long will I just spend like this my time in in sadness? So let me not just think about this depression. Let me just divert my mind something else, and I'll try to perk up, uplift myself. They come up with those strategies to combat with this physical and mental struggles that they have to face. So the best that can happen to them is they will be at peace with whatever is happening to them, not too much disturbed, okay? But they're not walking with Krishna and for Krishna. That's the difference with the devotees. While we go through that, because we're taking this as Krishna's arrangement, we are walking in peace with Krishna. And when we are done with these struggles, series of struggles, and when we are strong enough and we are not disturbed much at the stage of Nishtha, then we are becoming butterflies. That's the difference. The devotees and for others. We have a chance to be with Krishna, tolerate, insight, knowledge, and have a bigger picture of life. But the non-devotees would not have it. That's the difference. I want to pause. I really don't like to look at the time these days with these sessions. Yeah. We will continue it on Thursday, but I'll let you speak something for 2 minutes. Whatever your reflections are, whatever you want to add, please. And maybe in the next session, now that we talked about more on a physical illness, this thing that we have addressed, and in the next session, I think we can go with the interpersonal thing, because that pain is different than the physical illness thing. So we can focus more on that, spend some time, think about it, and feel what we are feeling and walk through it. On Thursday, we will do that. But for the physical aspect of it, please share your reflections, your thoughts. So I don't feel like only I just did all the talk.
The
You can
points
agree.
in this discussion makes very clear that acceptance makes a lot of difference in the in our living, right?
Yes, thank you. The sooner we accept,
Yes.
the better for
The
us.
better. Yes.
The less struggle for us, the less
Yes.
pain for us. Yeah. Yes. And it is in our hands whether to accept or
Yes.
not. Sometimes it's a process, not just overnight thing. but nevertheless, it is in our hands to accept or not. And that's the first step. Yeah, thank you. Is there somebody that can disagree with this? And then please say something. I want to hear that side also. Any other take-home points or something that you want to add from your side? Rest of you all.
When we understand the helplessness condition of ourselves, then it would be easy to accept, because there is nothing much we can do in the situation.
Yeah. Sometimes, unless we actually give some time like this, talk and think through, we don't necessarily really think deep when we are just going through ourselves, our own journey. So it's just spending some time on it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji, the other one was about, like from the Shastras, where you learn that it's about, it's your own karma, if I would call it, that's is causing some of those pains to you.
Yes.
So that also helps with the acceptance or.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, and the one good thing in practicing devotion is all that karma that is coming back now in whatever form is going away. If we just let it go away, this is the opportunity. The waves would come, but if we can just let it go away, by accepting let it go away, then we will, that will benefit us. Yes. That's the knowledge of the Shastra, saying that we have to own it, and it's the beauty of the bhakti is like that. Though it is our karma coming back, Krishna is using that karma so we can get closer to him. Each layer of another nivriti, when it happens, then we get closer to Krishna. Thank you. All right. In 3 more minutes, we will end. Any others? Anybody else?
If you are at peace, you're walking with Krishna. Mataji, you said something like that, right?
Awesome, Prabhu. Yeah.
Mataji, selfless,
Huh? Yes, Mataji.
selflessly calling for Lord Hari, selflessly, like how Draupadi was selflessly calling out Krishna.
Prayers, yeah. So when the situation is so intense, then when we can't take it, then prayers, yes. Calling out, prayers. When we feel helpless. What happens, Mataji, when we call out like that? Do we get the help?
We definitely, it's very difficult, but yeah, we will get a peace of mind that yes, someone is there, Krishna is there, and we can do this journey easily. Yeah, it is difficult to say, but yeah.
Somebody, at least a hand to hold on when it is really painful, like that. Yeah. The help comes or not, yes, it may come. And however it comes, we may not know. We may not be able to see. But at least there is a hand to hold on when we feel pain. Yeah. Calling out. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
At least at last we will have that peace of mind that yes, someone is there for us.
Some shoulder to lean on. Yes. Yes, Mataji. Anybody else? Anything else? 1 more minute.
I just hope we can practice what we are saying.
How, Prabhu?
I said, I hope we can practice what we are saying when the situation arises.
Yeah, that's why we are spending this time. So at least the time that we have spent made it clear to us of what is there in our hands, what is not there in our hands, and what would happen if I chose one option as opposed to the other option. So that thought process, we have spent some time on the thought process at least. So that would be helpful for all of us when we have that challenge coming. So that's the whole purpose of this time together. Yeah. And next time when we meet, we will talk about friction, pain in between people. Adi Daivika. Whatever we have talked today is Adhyatmika, our own pain. Huh? At least we have an insight of what Shastra is saying, and we put some thought in there, and we know what our options are. And yeah, we take it from there. But please remember, until this is, as much as this is sorted out, so much will be helpful for the japa. This is the whole point I'm saying. Since it is all within our this thing, as much as this can be sorted out, so much it will be helpful for japa. And when these emotions, they come in, during japa also, they can come in, and we will know that how to lean on to Krishna, Lord Krishna, because that's what we need when we go through the pain. We need the support and assurance. That we will get in japa. As we move on to the step 2 and 3 during the Sharanagati process, we will get super support. That will give us so much strength, the japa. You will see the difference. Please put in your journal of how you are feeling now. And on Saturday, we will go through this japa. You please write down how you would feel when we come to the step 3 of japa. See the difference. Then, yeah, that'll be good. Praveen Prabhu, will you say something?
Mataji, I want to thank you so much for bringing in these unique sessions and more practical thing to life. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, so we'll see you all next week. Yeah, we didn't plan on. I think when there is a substance and when we can relate to what is going on, time flies. So vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna.